Okay, the next presentation this morning, the next presenter this morning is Amanda Lacaze, the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Lynas Corporation. Appointed in June 2014, Amanda has successfully led the company's turnaround, and now Lynas is the world's second largest producer of rare earths. Lynas is uniquely positioned in the rare earths market with a Tier 1 resource at Mt Weld here in WA, in-house IP, and its proven Malaysian processing facility, which is the only rare earth centre of excellence outside China. In May 2019, the company announced plans to build a cracking and leaching plant close to Mt Weld and a proposed JV to separate heavy rare earths in the USA as part of its Lynas 2025 growth strategy. Please welcome Amanda Lacaze.
Well, good morning, everybody. If you think about the agenda at Diggers and Dealers like a sandwich, I think that I'm the filling inside the two pieces of white bread, which is the gold producers. So hopefully, because I am the filling, we will have some interesting things to say. I saw a lot of people left who clearly are only interested in gold, but for the rest of you, try to keep you well informed over the next 20 minutes. This is actually my third outing at Diggers and Dealers, and I feel quite the veteran, but I know that means nothing compared to many of the others who are here. But as I was thinking about my presentation this year, I looked back over those previous presentations. 3 years ago, I spoke about Lynas's turnaround and the steps that we took to ensure that our business survived and indeed flourished. After hitting nameplate capacity in late 2016, we put our minds to developing a plan for how to get additional profitable growth, and Lynas Next was born. Last year I spoke about the Lynas Next program, and importantly, as a business built on the value of our resources, I provided an update on our resources and reserves, work which ensured that we maintained our 25-year plus mine life. So what to talk about this year? Because it's been so unremarkable. No, frankly, if I had been asked after last year's Diggers and Dealers conference what I expected to talk about this year, while certain of the themes would have been consistent, the substance would have been somewhat different from what I will cover today. If I had been asked after last year's Diggers and Dealers to forecast the likely events that we would need to handle this year, then I doubt I would have had the imagination to conceive of the various twists and turns which have challenged us. For those of you who don't know about this, congratulations. I feel some days that I am Amanda everywhere as far as the media is concerned, and that the only person in the world who could possibly be interested in reading this much is my mother. But I don't intend to dwell on our challenges too much. I have no doubt that at some time in the future, with the benefit of distance, I will properly catalogue events, but not yet. My focus today will be firmly on the future of our business, which is bright and exciting and which promises to keep us all very busy for some time yet. However, before doing that, I will spend just a few minutes to recap our performance to date. Through all the external challenges of the last year, our operational performance continues to improve, and that is a huge testament to the focus and resilience and determination of our workforce. The Lynas Next program has been delivered. Today we can produce at approximately 140%. Cam, our VP of production, wants me to say 136. I think 140 is a reasonable approximation, Cam, of original design rates off the back of a carefully designed and efficiently delivered debottlenecking program, which has seen a big step up in throughput for a miserly $35 million investment. Today we can produce approximately 7,200 tonnes of NdPr per annum, in both unseparated and separated form. And of course, that brings with it a number of other associated products. These are sold into increasingly diverse end-use markets, and we have developed strong long-term relationships with market-leading companies with a particular focus on outside China markets. And these are the pictures of our beautiful new products this year. My very favourite on the left, our ND oxide. I'm rather partial to a nice lilac. And so it was really quite fun when that first came off the line. But of course, we also have the beautiful lustrous black of the pure praseodymium. Mt Weld remains the rock, pun intended, on which our business is built. A true Tier 1 resource, it is recognised as the world's premier developed deposit. Not everybody has had the opportunity to visit our Mt Weld site, although we do love having visitors. So I thought I would show you this somewhat recent photo of our mine. In the media, we so often get the photo which is from Mining Campaign 1, and really we have significantly expanded. For those of you who are particularly interested, a few numbers. Our Campaign 1 pit, which was dug in 2007-8, was 50 metres depth with a 30-metre overburden removal. Campaign 1B in 2017 saw us do a 10-metre depth expansion after dropping the water table. Campaign 2 was a northern exposure and intersected Duncan, which is the higher grade heavy rare earth ore, which has been stockpiled. We have a higher grade zone, and when we talk higher grade, we mean up to 25 to 30% rare earths, which runs down the western side of Campaign 1 and Campaign 2 pit. Campaign 3, which is what we're mining at present, is a western cutback of the Campaign 1 and 2 pit, which will keep us going into 2021-22. Behind the pit, if I could work out how to make this work, I would show you, but anyway, behind the pit, we can actually see the ROM, where ore of different ore grades, types and grade are stockpiled and blended. These are crushed and screened and then trucked to the processing plant, where the material is blended to a consistent feed grade. In the background, you can see the process plant, tailings dams, evaporation dams, infrastructure, all of it west of our carbonatite pipe. For many of you, this would probably look like a very small operation, and it is. Our footprint is small because our grade is high. Our team is lean, and whilst developing strong disciplines in the areas that matter, for example, safety, health and environment, we have been able to create a culture where our people are truly engaged with the business and where they are able to exercise individual initiative. As a result, we have a team that performs excellently in running business as usual, whilst at the same time developing and implementing breakthrough projects that are continually improving our business performance. Of course, equally important is our operation in Malaysia. Once again, for those who have not been able to visit us, here is an aerial photo of the plant. It is the largest single rare earth facility in the world. Our concentrate moves through 3 stages from left to right of the photo. Yeah, when you're looking at left to right of the photo. Cracking and leaching, solvent extraction.
Folks, morning tea is ready. Morning tea is ready.
We got over 1,000 solvent extraction phases. And then product finishing. The plant is new, it's only about 6 or 7 years old, has been designed, constructed and operated in a way that is consistent with best practice sustainability principles. On the slide, you can also see the various site utilities, including the controversial WLP, iron phosphate storage, which is on the top left of the photo. It's just under the word sustainability. You can see it is beautifully dry stacked, properly stacked, contoured with a temporary cap. There is no pathway for this material to affect the surrounding environment. Top right, you can see the NUF, which is a synthetic gypsum, also stored in engineered triple-line cells, dry stacked for safety. So, the quality of the Mt Weld ore body underpins value with grade and life, and together with our Malaysian facility delivers an excellent and competitive cost structure. At both sites, we remain steadfastly focused on production that is safe for our people, safe for our communities, and safe for the environment. A recent milestone of which we are absolutely super proud, but which I'm seeking to touch wood as I say it, is 1 year LTI free at our Malaysian plant. And this is a really significant achievement for us in terms of creating a new culture and a new mindset within our people. Our cost competitiveness continues to improve as we deliver further enhancements to our operating processes in both locations. And I thought I would provide a couple of examples of this. So, for example, as we look at Mt Weld, you can see in the... where do you think the pointer might be? Okay. At the top, you can see the phase 1 concentrator. And this was designed to produce the equivalent of about 2,500 tonnes of NdPr. It's 3 stories high, it has 29 flotation cells, and as you can see, and you would imagine when it was built by a civil engineering firm, it's got much concrete and steel. Phase 2, which is immediately below it, was also produced about the same. It's only 2 stories high with 9 flotation cells. Lynas next, which gave us the additional 40% of capacity, so a little less than each of those others separately, is 1 flotation cell. And as we look at our Lynas 2025, which is an additional 50% again, we're talking about maybe having 3 to 5 flotation cells. So this is an example of how, as we've operated our asset, we have understood how to fundamentally design and engineer it more efficiently. As part of the Lynas Next program, which was, as I said, essentially a debottlenecking program, for example, in Malaysia, 3 heat exchangers we now have in place in our MGO circuit. And what that does is it allows us to control the pH and the temperature by controlling the temperature, which significantly enhances our recoveries. As well as that, waste gas treatment, ducting and emissions improvement, which has seen us be able to deliver improvements ahead of regulatory requirements. But I am sure that anyone who has followed our company would know that this has been a particularly interesting year with a number of unexpected events. In Malaysia, we have faced unprecedented political and regulatory pressure after the change of government in May last year. Internationally, rare earths have come back into the geopolitical spotlight with the ongoing trade tensions between the US and China. And here at home, we have had some time-consuming corporate activity. Over the past year, we have carefully assessed the implications of external dynamics and developed a strategy to ensure that we grow with the market. Our business is exciting because it is exposed to a high-growth market. NdPr is the driver of rare earths market growth. Demand growth for NdPr is driven by new technologies. Electric vehicles, for sure, that's the sexiest and the one people want to talk about most, but not just electric vehicles. No matter what technology for your cars, for your vehicles, ICE, hybrid, plug hybrid or battery electric vehicle, they will all use increasing amounts of rare earths in the coming years. But so too will electronics, wind turbines, automation and appliances. But as I said, the market darling is electrified vehicles, and this slide shows why rare earths are the technology of choice for the powertrains within these vehicles. Lots of people talk about batteries, but the battery is only any use if it has charge. And so therefore, the powertrain, which is where the rare earths are used, is, we think, really at the heart of the vehicle. So within these areas, you can, of course, you always have alternate technologies. The rare earths technology not only gives you savings in the original vehicle, but it also gives you savings over the life of the vehicle. Lynas is focused on developing our business in outside China markets. And this is not simply a case of engaging with customers, qualifying our product and agreeing a price. So if you look just at magnetic materials, the value chain, mining, separation, metal making, alloy making, magnet making, and then we get to the component and the OEM makers. And in fact, components and OEMs, which tend to be, which are further down the value chain, operate in markets across the world. So big markets in China, the EU, Japan, and the US. However, as you move back through the various other steps in the supply chain, you do not get the same diversity. And this is the issue for Western markets who have been heavily dependent upon that single Chinese supply chain for a long time. But today, we can serve 100% of outside China demand for light rare earths other than lanthanum, which is used in fuel catalytic cracking systems. And we are working on establishing the ability to separate heavy rare earths, which will allow us to supply that market as well. So these significant gaps in outside supply chains, I think now, after years of discussion, customers and governments truly understand that simply developing a resource is not sufficient to ensure resource security for end-use markets. The Japanese government was thoughtful on this matter many years ago when they funded Lynas. As a result, the Japanese market does have security of resource. Of course, any discussion on external factors would not be complete without at least a passing comment on the Malaysian situation. We have always been confident we will have a reasonable outcome to the licence renewal. This is an important industry for Malaysia. More to the point, we are confident because we are a lawful company. We do fulfil, and we've been found in 4 scientific reviews to be low risk and compliant with relevant regulation, and we aspire to be an excellent foreign direct investment in all ways. Our operations are safe for our people, communities and the environment, and we make a significant contribution to economic growth and development in not just our local community, but the larger Malaysian economy. 97% of our staff are Malaysian, and it is a matter of great pride that even through a lot of the pressure in the last year, we have not lost a single senior manager, not a single process engineer, not a single production superintendent, not a single shift supervisor. And amongst our technicians and operators, turnover is at 50% of industry average. And this gives you a sense of the commitment of the people in our business. So as we move forward, we have a comprehensive and funded plan to grow with the market and continue to deliver continued growth in shareholder value. In 2025, we are a larger business. We have a diversified industrial footprint. We will continue to add to our product range to ensure that we can meet all of our customers' needs. The result, of course, we will deliver enhanced earnings, partly off the step change in production capacity, but also the continued improvement in cost position, and our $500 million capital plan, with the help and support of our primary senior lender, JARE, via the Japanese government, allows us to self-fund this project. So we are going to look like a much more global company. We are going to be a global company. We will have a diversified industrial footprint with centres of excellence in 3 geographies. Most exciting, we will be growing our presence here in Western Australia. So just a few comments on sustainability, because no business presentation can be complete without this, and particularly not a mining or rare earths presentation. I am sick to the eye teeth of hearing, but processing rare earths is a dirty business. It is not. It is no more, in fact, it is less intrinsically risky than many other businesses in the chemical industry, and it is simply the choice of the company involved whether they will have good processes or whether they will not have good processes. So for us, our plant was designed from the ground up as an environmentally responsible miner and producer of rare earths, and our commitment to sustainability means that we have got multiple external accreditations on this, including most recently the gold medal from EcoVadis, which puts us in the top 5% of the companies assessed. Now, the red light is flashing at me, so I will simply say we make friends with all of our stakeholders, and as proven several times this year, as we've dealt with these external challenges, the investment that we have made in our stakeholder relationships has been incredibly important for our business. I sometimes liken our senior lender to, the lion in the story of Daniel and the lion's den. In 2015, they had a very big thorn in their paw. The business was not performing. They were significantly exposed. We took that thorn out of their paw, and since then they have very much stood alongside us and supported us. I would also like to particularly highlight our community engagement. We have some of our local community from Laverton here. They will recognise the basketball court, but also the swimming pool. It is impossible to run a prosperous business if those around you do not prosper as well. I would make the point that this is a whole lot more than just writing a cheque. You actually need to turn up. A perfect example of this, and I really want to highlight how important Tony Mallock, our General Manager, is to our business. But recently at the Women's Refuge in Laverton, they wanted a chicken pen. We could have written a cheque, but actually what Tony did was he found a chicken coop. He transported it himself to Laverton, and our people went down and installed it. I think if we had just written a cheque, they would still not have their chicken coop. So we are facing the future with confidence. Mt Weld is a gift of nature to our business. Our market position as the only outside China supplier is a gift of time. The in-house intellectual property developed by our people is the result of their hard work, blood, sweat and tears. We have proven operations, and I can tell you we have a resilience and a determination to win, which will see us continue to grow and develop this business. So.
Thank you for that presentation, Amanda. We're right on time, ladies and gentlemen, but we've got time for one question. Just down the front here.
Hi, Amanda. Andrew Churnside from Canaccord. I know this is difficult for you to answer, but in terms of your confidence on the licence renewal, are you expecting any significant tweaking of the terms?
Our licence is quite crystal clear in terms of management of the residue as it stands, and there are three options in this order. So the first is that we were to undertake R&D to identify opportunities to reuse. That is without question international best practice. The way that the licence is written is if that is not possible, then we will construct a permanent disposal facility in Malaysia, and if that is not possible, then the material would be exported. So our expectation is any conditions attached to the licence will reflect the same types of conditions that we've already got.
If there are no more questions, we might end it there. Thank you very much, Amanda, again. Well done. That concludes the morning session. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.